You know what's funny? People on the spiritual path are always trying to achieve inner peace. But everyone seems to be making the same mistakes that prevents them from getting what they want. I used to think that if I just dedicated myself to meditation and working out, then I'd have all the peace in the world. But it didn't work. I thought, well, maybe if I could just quiet my mind and get rid of my thoughts, then maybe I could have inner peace. But it was too difficult. I also thought, well, my circumstances, everything is so negative around me, my environment. These are the things that are taking away my inner peace. I need money. I need to move places. I need this or that. But I was wrong. Once again. Now allow me to introduce myself. I am Ray, and I cracked the code to experiencing everlasting peace. But I stumbled and struggled for so many years trying to find peace. In fact, for most of my life, I experienced the opposite of peace. So I am certainly not one who just woke up one day and magically felt, I'm free. It was a long, difficult road of pain and suffering. But hopefully I can save you from all of these years of suffering by sharing what I have learned on my journey. I will share with you 3 big mistakes that led me to the one key factor that changed everything. The first mistake I made was having expectations. I thought, well, if I do this, then I should get this result. For example, if I meditate more, I should have more peace. Or if I do good deeds, if I try to be a good person, then more good things should happen to me. But this is just a recipe for disaster. Think about it practically for a moment. If I practice meditation with the expectation of having more peace, how will I react when that peace that I want is not present? How do you think I'll respond when I don't get what I want? That's right, like a crazy baby. Whenever the mind doesn't get what it wants, it enters into a state of resistance. And it is exactly that resistance that takes away our peace. But without expectations, there is no reason to resist the present moment. You allow life to unfold as it is, or as it does. This is a mess. Acceptance and surrender allows you to end the struggle in your mind. And when you're not at war, there is peace. The second mistake that I made was believing that my external circumstances were responsible for stealing my peace. The problem with blaming other things for the way that you feel is that you just you give away your power to forces outside of your control. Imagine how silly this would be. If you need the right environment to be at peace, then you'll always be like this gatekeeper, always trying to micromanage every aspect of your life. Oh no, I can't talk with you about your problems today, Deborah. I need to protect my peace of mind. Sorry, boss, I can't come into work. I need to stay home and protect my peace of mind. Oh, don't even speak to me until I've done my morning meditation. Playing this role of always trying to manage everything is also going to keep you from having peace. Because the fact is, no matter what you do, you cannot manage all the variables in existence. You cannot force things to go exactly the way that you want them to go. That is not sustainable behavior. You're setting yourself up for failure, okay? You're better than this. Some days you will skip meditation. Some days people will come to you with problems that you cannot ignore. Things will happen that are outside of your control. But none of these things will really matter because the one key factor that changed everything, I will share with you at the end. Stay tuned. The third mistake that I made was thinking, I'll be peaceful when. One day when I get some more free time to spend out in nature, then I'll be more peaceful. Once I make more money, I won't have to stress or worry. That will be the day. Once I get that special relationship, then I won't, scratch that. We all know that love is the death of peace of mind. The problem with believing that there is a better tomorrow is that tomorrow never comes. You have been lied to. I'm sorry. There is no better future because there is only the present moment. It's okay, don't blame yourself. I still struggle with this from time to time. When I really want things to be a certain way, and then they're just not. They're not. Not yet. You see, even if you were to get all of the things that you ever wanted, you would still struggle with inner peace. Why? Because in this frame of mind, we train ourselves to always be looking toward the future. So when the day finally comes when we should be peaceful and happy, we cannot. Because we are still focusing on the future. We never practiced remaining present in the moment. And life can only be experienced in the present moment. So the more we are separated from the present moment, the less we are truly living. The best way to set yourself up for the future is to master right now. In fact, the present moment is the secret to everlasting peace. It is the X on the map that marks the spot to the buried treasure standing beneath your feet. You see, the mind is always changing, it's always comparing, it's always ruminating on the past and the future. The mind is never satisfied, and it's always pulling us all over the place. And guess what? When we feel that we are getting pulled all over the place, we lack peace. And so the villain of this story was our mind the whole time. I like to call it the monster mind. Our own mind is responsible for sabotaging our inner peace. But in the present moment, you enter into a state of no mind. And where there is no mind, there is peace. Think about it. You could have the worst possible things going on in your life, the most painful experiences. But when you go to sleep at night, where do your problems go? They disappear because there is no mind to experience them. And you experience great peace and relief for a time. However, because in the waking state we identify with our mind, we are constantly being pulled into the drama of our life. Everything is changing. And when we identify with the changing, we experience getting pulled all over the place. Peace, however, exists in the unchanging, in stillness, and in emptiness, and silence. Let's imagine for a moment the nature of sounds. Do you hear how my words arise and fall back into the underlying silence that is always here? Or what about your thoughts? Can you watch how your thoughts arise and fall back into the same nothingness? You see, whenever we experience peace in our life, it is never because something gave it to us. Rather, there was something that was temporarily removed. Only when there is no noise is the silence easily heard. But the fact is, the silence was always there. We just weren't paying attention. You see, the one key factor that keeps people from the inner peace that they desire is believing that peace is something that you can have. Let that one sit for a while. But in fact, peace is already the nature of what you are. Everlasting peace is the radiance of consciousness. That is your true nature. But because we identify with the mind, we feel the need to go out and get inner peace, to achieve, to have. You see, we identify with the noise of the mind, and therefore never see the silence. You see, the noise of the mind is that same one who has the desire for inner peace. It's like the sounds saying, I want the silence. But this is a fundamental error, because the one who wants inner peace is the same one who is keeping you from it. The sound cannot have silence. When there is noise, it covers up the silence. And so these two things are not compatible. Don't seek to have or get inner peace. Seek to drop the one who is in the way. And then stop seeking. Then you will see that inner peace is always there. And if you're struggling with this a bit, don't worry. I have a video going into a bit more depth right here. Much peace and many blessings.